Welcome to today's What Will Move the Market show. I'm your host Prem. It's Tuesday, November 11, 2025, and here is everything you need to know as the markets open for today. Let me start with what happened on Wall Street last night. It was a stellar session across the board. The Dow Jones Industrial Average jumped 381 points, or 0.81%, closing at 47,368. The S&P 500 surged 103 points, gaining 1.54% to reach 6,832. And the Nasdaq absolutely crushed it with a 2.27% jump, adding 522 points to finish at 23,527. The rally was fueled by renewed optimism around a potential government shutdown resolution in the United States. The market's appetite for risk picked up considerably as investors shook off concerns about fiscal uncertainty. On the earnings front, mega-cap technology names, the hyperscalers that everyone's watching, continued to drive momentum with their forward guidance on artificial intelligence spending. Big movers last night, the tech sector led the charge, with semiconductor and software plays firing on all cylinders. Energy stocks also participated in the upside, as crude oil prices edged higher. Overall, it was a broad-based rally, with strong momentum across both large-cap and mid-cap segments on the US bourses. Now switching focus to our Indian ADRs trading in New York overnight, Infosys ADR moved up 1.55%. On the banking front, ICICI Bank ADR edged up 0.40%, while HDFC Bank ADR rose 0.73%. And Reliance Industries GDR climbed 0.69%. These are positive signals for Indian investors. The fact that our big-ticket IT and financial names are finding buyers in New York overnight is a green light for sentiment heading into today's market open. It suggests that FIIs are reconsidering their stance and there's fresh interest in India's quality corporate landscape. Let's now look at the Asian landscape as markets opened through the night. Japan's Nikkei index surged 1.26%, adding 635 points to touch 50,911. Hong Kong's Hang Seng index jumped 1.55% with a gain of 407 points, settling at 26,649. Shanghai Composite edged up 0.53%, adding 21 points to 4,018. And Seoul's Kospi led all major indices with a robust 3.02% jump, adding 119 points to 4,773. Here's the key barometer for us. The GIFT Nifty this morning is at 25,710, up 36 points. While this isn't a dramatic move, it signals a consolidation with a mild positive bias. The index suggests we could see a flat to positive opening on the NSE today. The Asian strength overnight, coupled with Wall Street's stellar performance, means the global risk-on sentiment is intact. On the geopolitical front, here's a development that could be market-moving for India. US President Donald Trump just announced that Washington and New Delhi are getting very close to finalizing a new trade agreement. Trump specifically said, and I quote, "We're getting a fair deal, just a fair trade deal. I think we're pretty close to doing a deal that's good for everybody." What's significant here is Trump's commitment to bring down tariffs on India at some point. Remember, India has been facing 50% tariffs on its exports, which was imposed partly due to Russia oil purchases. Trump acknowledged that India has largely reduced its Russian oil imports and signaled tariff reductions could be coming. This is positive for corporate earnings expectations and could support rupee strength. The trade deal narrative is a tailwind for Indian equities, particularly for sectors exposed to US markets like IT services and automobiles. Keep this on your radar as negotiations progress. On the domestic front, India's story continues to strengthen. Foreign institutional investors turned net buyers yesterday after 6 consecutive days of selling. That's significant. This reversal in FII flows, coupled with steady domestic institutional support, has restored confidence in the market. The Sensex and Nifty both rebounded sharply on Monday, with the Nifty gaining 82 points to close at 25,574, and the Sensex up 319 points to 83,535. The Nifty Bank Index closed at 57,937, up 61 points. From a sectoral perspective, IT stocks led the rally yesterday, with Infosys and HCL Tech among the top contributors. Pharma and metals also showed strength. Interestingly, banking stocks were relatively muted, even though they finished in positive territory. On the IPO front, we have some major debuts opening for subscription today. PhysicsWallah, the EdTech unicorn, opens its IPO at a price band of 103 to 109 rupees for a 3,480 crore offering. Emmvee Photovoltaic, a solar manufacturer, is also opening today at 206 to 217 rupees for a 2,900 crore issue. We also have Mahamaya Lifesciences and Workmates Core 2 Cloud Solutions opening today. These are significant listings that could attract retail and institutional participation. Let me walk you through today's technical setup for both key indices. For the Nifty 50, yesterday's close at 25,574 was encouraging. The immediate resistance levels are at 25,634, 25,670, and 25,727. On the downside, support is placed at 25,520, 25,484, and 25,427. The critical technical signal, the Nifty has formed a bullish candle on the daily chart, signaling follow-up buying. However, there's a mild upper shadow, suggesting some resistance at higher levels. The index is trading above its medium and long-term moving averages, which is constructive. The 50-day exponential moving average acted as a key support during this recent weakness, and yesterday's bounce confirms that level's importance. If the Nifty holds above 25,500, we could see a gradual rally toward 25,700 to 25,800 in the coming sessions. Let's touch on the commodity space. Gold continues its stellar run, now trading at $4,121, up an impressive 2.79%. This is the third consecutive session of gains. Silver is absolutely on fire, jumping 4.82% to $50.47 per ounce. Both precious metals are in an uptrend, and that's a positive signal for investor risk appetite shifting toward defensive plays alongside equity. Crude oil added 0.65%, settling at $60.14 per barrel. This is a modest gain reflecting steady global demand and easing supply concerns. For India's import-dependent economy, stability in crude prices is crucial for inflation management. Here's my tactical view for today. We are in a delicate phase where positive momentum from Wall Street and Asia is meeting renewed domestic strength. The Nifty's recovery above 25,500 is technically significant and could attract fresh buyers, particularly in the IT and bank sectors. For traders, the sweet spot is to ride the momentum in key large-cap indices and select mid-cap stories in IT, auto, and pharmaceuticals. But keep your risk tight if you're trading intraday. Banks are still lagging. Watch for value accumulation in PSU banks, especially after recent weakness. The trade deal news from Trump is a positive wildcard for tech services and auto-related trades, so keep those sectors on your watch list. And with IPOs opening today, fintech and edtech allocations could see fresh institutional interest. So to wrap up, Wall Street delivered strong overnight gains, Asian momentum is intact, Indian ADRs are in sync, and FIIs are returning. The Nifty's technical setup suggests a constructive day ahead, but watch those resistance zones carefully. Keep the trade deal narrative and IPO calendar in mind, and stay defensive in commodities, given the bullish posture in gold. Stay tuned for the evening wrap, and send in your questions and stock ideas. This is Prem, signing off for What Will Move the Market. Thank you for listening, and may your trades be profitable.